So Move, Sweat, Discover was just born out of that curiosity, really. And that, the fact that you can learn so much about yourself and other people through movement. So I was like, what better way to learn more about people than like do it on a podcast, sweat with them, and then talk to them about their journey. Yeah.
I really like the idea, and I like the synergy between movement and kind of then having the conversation afterwards as well. And a lot of the podcasts we've done, like, it's great to hear these stories from people that I wouldn't necessarily know before. And having that shared interest in fitness, in movement, in challenges, and seeing how it relates to their daily life and their mentality. Before we go into that, I kind of want to know your background, how you got into fitness, or kind of your journey growing up in Hong Kong as well.
I'd say I'd always been relatively active. I played rugby in primary school. And then puberty hit, and really relatively the only access I had to like kind of fitness and physical activities was through school. You stand there and you get picked for sports or whatever. And as we kind of grew older, I always got picked last because I was maybe a little bit shorter, a little bit like smaller. I was still pretty good at, like running and like agility and stuff like that. But I was always picked last. And I remember thinking back then that I was gonna be picked first in life. That I was going to prove to these kids that I would be somebody. I was bullied a little bit back then as well. So I think that was like a little bit of a driver for me to kind of become and achieve. I was working in events and marketing actually in a full-time role, and a lot of my time was spent entertaining clients. A lot of my time was spent socializing with the people that I worked with. So I was hitting it quite hard. I would wake up at 5 in the morning to go to the gym. I'd get to the office at like 7:30 before everyone was kind of like awake. And I valued that time between, like the gym and like when people would come online, because it was just time for myself to kind of like get like work done. But I found that like my days were long. I was doing that and entertaining clients and working, and it was just too much. And at the time I was working for a lifestyle platform where they asked me to write like reviews on a number of different things. And they asked me to do a review on retreat. And so I went to Bali. I found this retreat, and it was a trip of a lifetime. I was still pretty active, as I mentioned, and yeah, it was great. I addressed a lot of things in terms of like balance, like sleep, nutrition, and so I kind of took all of the stuff that I learned on that retreat, brought it back with me, kept in touch with the guys at the retreat, did some work with them on the side whilst I was still in my full-time events role, and eventually I kind of realized I was not really putting into practice all the stuff that I'd learned. So I was still doing like hitting it hard at the gym, still hitting it hard at work, still hitting it hard in my social life. So I bit the bullet and quit my kind of cushy corporate job. And then that kind of created a life of its own, like into my fitness journey. So I studied, I became a fitness trainer, and the rest is history.